No gold is not in her. She's a diamond.
Welcome to another exciting edition of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And today we're going to talk about networking. We have a video up telling you about being a good businessman and how very, very few people in this hobby actually are. A lot of opportunities people pass by, a lot of money people leave on the table. This kind of got me thinking to do this video today for a couple of different reasons. We've got a video going up about a deal that Mr. Magazine and I went into, not exactly halvesies, but close to halvesies on for a big bulk buy. A lot of interesting magazines and all that kind of thing. And just various things. I got a phone call last night, as I think I told you about.
Yep.
Somebody, not me and not you, but somebody abused the Amazon system. They used my contact information to reach out to me. And they called me and they left a message. I didn't recognize the number, so I didn't answer it, and it was a little bit later at night. So this morning I listened to it, and it was somebody calling from Washington, sounded like an older gentleman, had a collection of magazines, and he was looking to sell them all. And he said, if you know anybody interested, give me a call. And it wasn't really the kind of deal that I would need. It's a little bit newer stuff than I enjoy dealing in. First thing that came to my mind is, hey, this guy's looking to sell. You're always looking to buy.
Always buying.
I passed it along to you. You're going to give the guy a call today.
Yeah.
And hopefully the deal consummates. I've gotten any number of leads from you where you've said, hey, give this guy a call. He's giving me a call. He's got books. He's got this. He's got that. You're actually doing the person looking to sell a favor.
Right.
Because they want to get rid of the item. And it may not be something that I want, but it's something that somebody else wants. I've got a couple of different people that I text that go to the estate sales, and they tell me all the time, hey, this sale don't go to. This sale you should go to. This is worth checking out. And likewise, I tell them, hey, go to this. Don't go to this. Don't waste your time. This is something or other you might like. Because people are always looking to sell things, but you're not looking to buy everything. I mean, there's certain things you don't buy.
You gotta be selective. Sometimes enough is enough with certain things. So.
Well, or if it's something way outside.
I pay very little on some items if I'm going to store them in a corner for years or whatever.
Like if I said to you, somebody had a collection of artwork. Mm-hmm. I think a couple of names just came right into your head as to who you would ask me to refer them to, correct?
Right, sure.
Yeah. So because you don't deal in artwork.
No.
And I don't deal in artwork. Obviously somebody walks in with the Mona Lisa, I'm listening, but...
Or calling the police.
Oh, yeah, that too. Or dogs playing poker, obviously. The classics you're always interested in. But we don't deal in that. Think of another thing right off the top of the head. You don't deal in furniture.
No.
Yeah, we don't deal in furniture, but I think you're probably thinking of the same two people I am right off the top of your head that we would sit there and refer that to and say, contact these people.
I don't even want to deal in Dow furniture, to be honest with you, but I have, but yes, correct.
Yeah, right. So, everybody's got their little niche. Speaking of Dow furniture, I can think of one person that deals in that stuff that I would sit there if a big collection came along. Mm-hmm. When I saw her out at a flea, I'd say, hey, contact this person.
Right.
And I would hope that she would do the same for me if a large paper collection came along. How many times have people brought things in to sell you because they're always dealing with you and they save it all up and they come in?
Right, all weekly.
That's only available through networking. That's what it all comes down to. Build yourself up a network of people. People that deal in the same things, that you can offload stuff, or maybe they end up with a deal too big. That happens a lot. And I know you are the recipient of a lot of big deals.
Right.
Because you can handle the big deals.
Sure.
I'm thinking back to probably the first flip that I ever made to you of any significance. Look up in the sky.
Oh, Superman. Yeah. There was a truckload of Superman stuff, a van load, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
And basically what ended up happening with that is I was at a public auction, and there were a lot of Superman items up for bid, and I was winning a fair number of them. And a guy came up to me during the auction and said, hey, you're getting some great deals. And I said, oh, thank you. And he said, this is actually my stuff. And he was in a situation where he was going to be moving out of the country shortly. And he said, would you, I only gave a little bit of it here. I've got a lot more. Would you be interested in? And I said, yeah, definitely. So I got his information. I had a buddy of mine, I networked, and had a buddy of mine who had a van because it was more than what I could carry in my car. Drove out there, reached a price with the gentleman, PayPal'd him, and he was real leery about the PayPal.
Yeah.
But I PayPal'd him on my phone, and he
Sure.
sat there, and the second he saw it come in on his phone, then he was good on the deal.
Yeah.
He had the money. So we took the stuff, we loaded it all up, and I was on the way home, and I said to my friend, I said, this is a lot of stuff. I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know if I have the room for it. Let me give Mr. Magazine a call. Literally on the way home, I gave you a call, and I said, and I don't remember what I paid for it. I paid $1,300 or something like that. And I said, I'm going to take a couple things out of it. Can I flip it to you for $1,500? And sight unseen, you bought it because you trusted me on that.
Yeah.
I made $200. I gave my buddy some money for driving. I think I bought him dinner and things like that. So I made $100 out of the whole deal and did some labor, but got some cool stuff for myself. Instead of making a left turn, he made a right turn. We unloaded it at your store. I took the few items out that I wanted, went home. You got a good deal. The guy was happy. I was happy. It was win-win all around, and it was all because of networking. I never even had to unload the thing in my house. And I believe you've had a few deals like that before where people have just bought stuff and just given you a call and said, I'm bringing it over.
Yeah.
I'm bringing it over.
Yeah.
Because they have your number on their phone.
Yeah.
And I know you've sent people to some of your competitors before
Sure.
because they've sent people to you as well.
Yeah. Even local pawn shops, I got a rapport with them, and some of them, they know what I deal in. It isn't what they deal in. So if I get silver, gold, coin, stamps, I throw them the lead, and they throw me leads of stuff they don't want. So.
Yeah. And it's all based off of networking. And in regular business, that's a very important thing. In fact, one of the larger websites out there is something called, I don't know if you've ever heard it or not, LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yeah.
LinkedIn is basically international networking. I mean, that's what that is. And if it's important to the big accountants, and it's important to the big CEOs, and it's important to the engineers, and it's important to everybody else to network, why wouldn't we network?
Exactly.
That's part of treating it like a real business. But so many people, as you'll see in the other video, so many people do not treat it like a real business. Now, obviously, don't be stupid. Somebody walks into your store with a bunch of Golden Age comics, you don't say, well, I'm going to send them down the street,
Right.
unless it's absolutely beyond what you deal in.
Yeah.
Obviously the guy's got, action 1 through 20 high grade,
Sure.
graded, and he knows what they're worth, and he wants, I don't even know what they would go for.
$1
He wants $1 million
million.
for them. That's a little beyond what you can cover, a little beyond what I can cover. Maybe at that point you'd say, hey, contact one of the major auction houses. This is something for them.
Right.
And actually you've networked with the major auction houses as well.
Sure, yeah.
You've sent things their way when you see that they're outside of what you deal in. They're
Right.
just too good for what you deal in. And I don't mean that as a down thing
Right.
to you. But if I think it's worth $100,000, and it probably is worth $100,000, I'm not going to sell to you for $15,000,
Right,
obviously.
exactly, yeah.
And at that point, you say, hey, why don't you contact Heritage or Cowens or one of the major auction houses, because that would be good for you to get rid of it that way.
Sure.
But it also makes them happy.
Oh, yeah.
And when things work out for them, they're talking good about you.
Yeah.
And in the end, it's the word of mouth that keeps your business going, keeps my business going.
Yep.
I mean, you've got a good rating on eBay.
Yeah.
Was it 99.9 probably, or
Pretty close,
right about
yeah.
there?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm at 100. I did pick up a couple of neutrals, but I'm at, they don't count those. I don't know if you knew that or not. They do not count neutrals.
Right.
Yeah.
They shouldn't.
No, they really shouldn't. So our entire business is based on our reputation online more than anything else, because somebody, if you stop and you think about it, somebody in Kansas is sending you $20
Right.
on the promise that you're going to send them a magazine.
Yeah.
It's all based off of reputation. Yeah. And I know that there have been a few times that you've bought things taking some risk on your part.
Yeah.
From people that have contacted you.
Yeah.
But the stories added up, and you protected yourself as best as you could. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking about one person that was all upset because you didn't pay them friends and family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so then they put in a fake tracking number because they couldn't afford the money to ship it out.
Yeah.
And they ended up finally, after a while, just biting the bullet and sending it out to you because
Yeah.
obviously you don't know them from Adam. They just contacted
Yeah, I
you.
can't take a chance.
You're not going to send them, I don't remember what it was, a few $1,000s. You're not going to just, here's a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
You need proof that they're sending something.
Right.
So in the end, they bit the bullet and sent it off to you. Yeah. But that worked out really, really well. But on the other hand, they were sending that off to you without ever having received payment. So they were taking the chance on that, but your reputation preceded you.
Yeah, you got to use, I only use friends and family, people I've dealt with multiple times. But one time I actually paid the seller the fees to have it tracked so we're both covered. It ended up being $10, $20. But like for me to lose out or him to lose out wasn't worth it. So I said, hey, here you go.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And even the Ohio deal, that came about through some level of networking. I mean, you dealt with the person before. They had found you. It's a small world dealing up there with bulk lots of magazines, and we know most of the big people, and they've heard of us as well.
Right.
So it's all networking. It really is what it comes down to. And it doesn't necessarily have to be at the level that you network. It doesn't have to be nationally. It can just be locally like I do. Right. I know all of the various buyers. I mean, I've gotten calls before from auction houses locally that have said, hey, we've got this stuff up. You probably should come out. Now, granted, it's helping them out as well.
Sure.
But they knew it was stuff that I would be there, be interested in. They knew it was things that I would buy. And even if I didn't buy it, the fact I'm there, I'm raising my card and I'm making them more money.
Sure.
So it was well worth their phone call to me. I think I ended up spending about $1,200 at that auction and bid up a bunch of stuff. So for the price of a phone call,
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
used to be a quarter. Now I think it's free. For the price of a phone call, it was well worth it. And it was just because my business card is out there. In fact, I'll tell you another real quick story there. Went to a estate sale a couple of days ago, and a gentleman that we both know that we actually went to an auction at his store over in Webster. He dealt in musical instruments and records and things like that. He actually literally was pulling up to the estate sale as I was walking out to my car to leave, and he said, "Hey, Dave." That's my alter ego. I'm actually paper going. He said, "Hey, Dave, I got a box of stuff for you." And I said, "Great, you want my card?" And he goes, "Yep." And I gave him my card, and he's going to be giving me a call.
Cool.
And it's just, he knows what I deal in. When he picks up all their stuff, he throws it all off in a box, and then he contacts me. And he's very, very fair. It's all extra stuff that he finds in his dealing, so he has nothing into it. I'm doing him a favor by taking it, and he's doing me a favor by saving it and calling me. So it's win-win, and that never would have happened without networking.
Well, and I remember that deal with the music stuff I was at. I bought thousands of records and stereo equipment, and then I met someone there that I deal with regularly now that runs estates and stuff, and we're mutual friends, and we've made each other a lot of money as well. So it's just a trickle effect.
Trickle effect. So I guess the bottom line of this is network, and the other bottom line of this is do get some kind of a business card made up. Even if it's something as simple as you go on Vistaprint or one of those, and it literally just has your phone number and your email address on it. Have it out and what you're interested in buying probably, or have a pen and you can write it on there because that can always change as well.
Sure.
But get that out into circulation because you just never know. I'm going to tell one last story. It's Uncle Papergoy's story hour right here. This was one of the weirdest ones that ever happened to me. I got a phone call. We're going back to 2015. I get a phone call out of the blue from somebody. Hey, I just picked up a lot of stuff in an estate. It was sports cards and a lot of sports magazines and things like that. Are you interested? And I don't know who they are, but I said, yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's all in my van. Give me your address. I'm going to drop it all by. We'll work a deal out. I said, okay. So I gave him my address. About 45 minutes later, there's a knock at my door. Somebody I swear to you, I have never seen this gentleman before. He said, oh, we've dealt together a bunch of times before. I said, okay, great. Yeah,
He
oh,
knows
you, wonderful.
He knows you, but you don't know him.
Yeah, I've never seen him before. Right. Oh, wonderful. He goes, we go out to his car, we bring in all these boxes of stuff, unopened wax from the 90s, nothing great as far as that goes, but a lot of different, like a big box of Entertainment Weekly magazines, box of sports magazines, box of Mad magazines, things like that. I don't remember, 10, 12 boxes. And I go, that's some neat stuff there. What do you want? He goes, $100. I said, here you go. Have a nice day. And he said, oh, thank you. You did me a favor. Thank you. I just picked the stuff up. I didn't want to deal with it, but I knew you'd buy it. And he was on his way. And to this day, I don't know who sold it to me.
Wow.
But every once in a while, I'll sell one of the magazines out of the deal, and I'll remember the deal, and I'll say, I wonder who that masked man was, because I really, truly never met the man in my life before. But somehow or other, my business card was floating around out there, and he probably had picked it up and talked to somebody else at the sale. Maybe he bought it at a storage auction. Who knows where he got it from. But he had it and probably said to somebody else, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this stuff. And whoever it was said, hey, give this guy a call. And made him happy and made me happy, because I still sell, 2-3 of those magazines every month. So I'm making money, 5 years later off of it.
Yeah.
All because my business card was out in circulation. You just never know. So network, it's what you need to do to be a good business, and treat this like a real business. Until next video.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.